What advice would you give to your younger self about how to approach Ramadan? We all learn differently as well. We all have, and what was really interesting is looking at, what's it called? Omar Suleiman's, what's his non-profit organization that he's created?
Yaqeen Institute.
Thank you, Yaqeen. And they have, when you go to their site, I'm sure some of you have seen it, they've got the Islamic personality quiz. And that is, for me, just, it changes everything, because we realize that we put this, well, I know that Dr. Laura, you feel the same, and I'm sure many of us do. We put this unnecessary pressure on ourselves to strive to do what we see as that's the accepted thing to do, or that is what we should strive to do because that's what everyone else is doing. But when we identify what our Islamic personality is, we realize that fasting for one person is something that might be something they relish in and they love it. Yeah. And for others, it's learning Quran, it's learning the Arabic and then the tafsir. Or for somebody else, it might be listening. Sorry, 1 second. You want to get in the chair? For somebody else, it's what, and this is, I think I agree with you, Laura. For me, it's learning about our deen through lectures from those that really understand our deen, that can explain it in a way that just warms my heart, that brings me closer to my Creator, even though I don't understand the words in the Quran. Hang on, I just need to get him a crayon. And so I'm with you. I think that there's a lot of, we can put unnecessary pressure on ourselves and almost see Ramadan as a chore. And it shouldn't be that. It should be something, and this is what's changed for me over the last 7 years since I've been a Muslim, alhamdulillah, is now I'm able to take it back to, well, what are my strengths? What fills my spiritual cup up? What makes me feel alive spiritually? Because this is what connects me to my Creator. He loves me and us all more than anything, and just wants us to take that one step closer to him. So why would I compare myself to others who are reading the Quran, trying to understand the Quran, mashallah, because that's what they want to do, that's their connection, when actually for me it might be and for this year it's learning how to nourish my family through prophetic ingredients in sourdough bread. That's what I really, really want to do. I want to, like we were talking in our last conversation, I want to get to know my neighbours, and I'm going to share these breads with them that are made from prophetic ingredients to show them that actually behind this is somebody who, wants to, just get to know them and be there and give them my duty because they're my neighbours, and the same for my family. So I think it changes when we shift that perspective from pressure and comparison to one of what are my spiritual strengths, what fills me up, and how can I connect to my Creator? And then once you know that piece of the puzzle, what are the forms of ibadah in that? So for me, it's learning about nourishment, learning about barley and wheat and how to use those, to nourish my family and others. So for me, it's every step of gaining the knowledge, of preparing, of making it. Do you know what I mean? So it's a completely different perspective. And since I've done that only a couple of months ago, I'm really, really looking forward to it because it plays to my strengths and fills me up, inshallah.
Yeah, and I think, Erin, what you said is so important about everyone has their own unique way of connecting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's something that works for my husband, for example, might not work for me. And that doesn't mean that I'm a lesser Muslim because, maybe I can't sit there just with the Mus'haf with no translation and for an hour straight read from it. For me, that's not, yes, I'm going to get the hasanat, of course, of doing that, but I'm going to come out of it with no deeper understanding of Islam or closer relationship with Allah, because I can't understand it as well as he can, you know? So it's like, and I love what you said about finding your own strengths, because that made me realize that one of my strengths is I love learning. So for me, you know, listening to a lecture, a tafsir, and even if it's just on one ayah and just learning this deep, deep meaning, and it just, you know, it's like it gives you goosebumps, you know, when you listen to it. And, you know, but for someone else, that might not be, you know, what really inspires them and motivates them. It might be something different.
Yeah, completely. And I think the sooner we can reach that point of, I think we need to learn what our Islamic personality is. And that's where Yaqeen has that brilliant tool. It's so good for anybody that hasn't done it. Go to Yaqeen Institute and do the Islamic personality quiz, because it really helps you. Just, you might be aware of some of the things that you're good at, but it makes you realize that we can get further through doing the most incredibly natural things that make us feel good. They fill us up. It allows us to be close to our creator and get all these wonderful acts of worship, inshallah, especially during Ramadan, but that work to our strengths rather than kind of fighting it. Like one year I read the Quran, not in Arabic, in English, so I could understand it. And if I'm honest, I raced through it because I thought, oh, well, I need to finish it. And I got more out of listening, like Laura just said, listening to the series that Omar Suleiman does every Ramadan. You know, like I think it was on the Angels series. I got more out of those, you know, 5-10 minute series every day